Ahead of the 30th session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Brazil, President Tinubu has approved the adoption of a national carbon market framework to establish and manage Nigeria's participation in carbon markets. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports that this framework will enable Nigeria to unlock $3 billion annually in carbon finance within 10 years.
This is the second meeting of the National Council on Climate Change, and approvals followed a presentation by the National Council on Climate Change aimed at operationalizing the Climate Change Fund and the restoration of the agency to the budget line. President Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the meeting, said the approvals were part of measures to properly position Nigeria to leverage opportunities in the global carbon market and be more active in climate change ecosystem. The meeting is also setting the agenda for Nigeria ahead of the forthcoming 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference, scheduled for Belém, Brazil, to harness all the opportunities for financing climate-resilient projects and related interventions, particularly from the global carbon market.
Through the Renewed Hope agenda, this administration has placed strong emphasis on building a new economy for Nigeria, an economy that is green, just, and people-centered. Nigeria stands ready to take its rightful place as a global leader in climate action, ensuring that our voice and our realities are heard and respected in international negotiations.
Nigeria is very, very excited, and we are very excited. It happened just before COP, and we're ready and channeled to move on to the next phase, and Nigeria is officially ready for business.
The Council expressed commitment to providing the technical leadership and coordination needed to translate Nigeria's climate goals into measurable results, as the nation is now eligible to access new rounds of climate finance from multilateral funds. From the State House, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The Nigerian Armed Forces have held a colorful pulling out parade in honor of the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, marking the end of an illustrious military career spanning nearly 4 decades. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa captured the event at the Mogadishu cantonment in Abuja.
Left, right, left, right. The rhythm of the parade and the tone of the combined military band setting the tone for the solemn yet celebratory occasion. Serving and retired service chiefs, family members, friends and well-wishers gathered to witness the symbolic and sacred military tradition marking the end of a distinguished career of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. His journey began precisely 39 years and 4 months ago, rising through the ranks to the pinnacle of his career as a 4-star general and the nation's defense chief. During his 2 years in office, General Musa spearheaded decisive military operations that led to the surrender of more than 90,000 terrorists and their families, depleted the Lakura terrorist group and dismantled several criminal networks across the country. In his valedictory speech, General Musa described his exit as a moment of fulfillment, urging the nation's gallant troops to remain steadfast, reminding them that defeat is temporary, but victory is certain and binding.
As I hang my uniform today, I do so with a clear conscience, knowing that I gave my all. I live with cherished memories of camaraderie, of battles fought, and of triumphs celebrated as one family. The sound of the bugle might change for me, but the soldier's heart beats on forever.
Is the end of an era for the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, born in 1967 and joined the NDA in 1986 as a member of the 18th Regular Corps. From the Mogadishu cantonment here in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has announced plans to begin monthly psychiatric evaluation for all inmates across Nigeria's correctional facilities from November 2025. The first vice president of the association, Dr. Benjamin Olowojebutu, made this known during a visit to the Nigerian Correctional Service headquarters in Abuja, a visit that also featured the donation of reusable sanitary pads for all female inmates nationwide. Accompanied by producers of the sanitary pads, he said the initiative is part of a broader effort to promote mental health, restore dignity, and ensure no inmate is left behind in access to care.
Doctors will go there one day in a week and see the patient. That it will be regular, not just one day and not coming every month.
So correctional means that you have a chance again. Everybody deserves a chance again in life. And part of my commitment today, in addition to what I've said earlier, is give us another correctional center and we'll build another incubation center for you.
The fourth edition of the Controller General of Corrections, Sylvester Nwakuche, said the collaboration with the NMA will strengthen health services for both inmates and staff across the country.
Sanitary pads are expensive, so for the Nigerian Medical Association to have taken it upon themselves to provide for our female inmates is something that is commendable. It's going to turn their lives around.
With this partnership, rehabilitation is taking a more human face, one where care, education and reform all work together to give inmates a fair chance at change. The European Union and ECOWAS, in partnership with the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking Healthcare Value Chain, PVAC, and the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, have joined hands to accelerate Nigeria's health sector industrialization towards strengthening Nigeria's healthcare manufacturing ecosystem. Tope Alabi reports that this was at a Nigeria-EU Health Investment Forum in Abuja, themed Made in Nigeria, Made for Health, geared towards supporting local producers and innovators.
Nigeria relies on imported medicines, and in 2023, estimated 70% of drugs consumed were from imports, with over 130 local drug manufacturing companies in Nigeria and spending over 3 trillion naira on pharmaceutical imports between 2016 and 2022. Changing the narrative has become necessary. This is why government officials, industry leaders, development partners, and investors are discussing strategies for strengthening Nigeria's healthcare manufacturing ecosystem, regulations, and investment climate.
The end goal is that every Nigerian, regardless of status or location, can access affordable, quality healthcare in Nigeria.
To ensure that our people not only get the highest level of access to healthcare, but also catalyze socio-economic development.
The health sovereignty aspiration that is so very prominently present in the PVAC philosophy, as I would call it.
Agreements signed include contracts on manufacturing and access to vaccines, medicines, and health technologies in Africa, a regional agreement on sexual and reproductive health and rights, as well as PVAC, Bayer, AG, and Cromedix Pharmaceuticals Limited partnership to place Nigeria as Africa's hub for pharmaceuticals innovation and manufacturing.
On behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I reaffirm the federal government's resolve to build a sustainable, inclusive health economy.
Our Agenda 2050, which is our perspective plan, is very clear. We need to invest at least $100 billion per annum, with at least 86% of it coming from the private sector.
Harnessing this long-term transformative partnership is expected to constitute an invaluable value addition to Nigeria's healthcare delivery. In Abuja, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
Nigeria's healthcare narrative is evolving, driven by the presidential vision on access to care, PVAC, as PVAC champions improved medical infrastructure, community health, education, and inclusive policies. Guests on NTA's program, Good Morning Nigeria, believe this initiative will enhance public trust and access, ensuring a new era of proactive, equitable health services nationwide. Lydia Sampson reports.
Investment in health manufacturing remains a critical challenge in Nigeria's healthcare ecosystem. Financing gaps hinder local pharmaceutical production, pushing costs higher and limiting drug availability. Strengthening regulations, Gaston Good Morning Nigeria reiterate, is urgent to curb the proliferation of substandard medicines flooding the market, putting lives at risk.
The investment in the health sector is very sensitive. As a European Union and as investors, so we need to be sure that investments contribute to objectives and policies that government is pursuing.
We have a pipeline. We wanted to ensure that indeed we can provide the kind of support this pipeline needs, and I think that happened in two ways. One, in terms of technology transfer. So meeting international companies are able to come and support and give guidance to local manufacturers such that some of these products can be produced in Nigeria, I think was a major outcome.
They applauded PVAC's role in shaping Nigeria's healthier future. The guests also want health insurance needs seriously upgraded to improve coverage and protect families from out-of-pocket expenses.
There is a significant willingness in Nigeria with Nigerian businessmen and businesswomen to adhere and do the right thing, first of all, because also a sense of morality that, especially if you're in staple foods and in pharma, that you only guarantee quality. And I know in Nigeria we have proper companies that do that and are willing to do that.
We can actually get it right because with this made in Nigeria, made for health, with that entire slogan, it's let us begin to look inwards.
In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Federal government is leveraging the use of modern technology alongside digital innovation in medical practice to address the challenge of brain drain in Nigeria's health sector. This was as the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Ave Maria University, Pianco, to improve medical education in Nigeria in line with global best practices. Thomas Obetere reports.
Medical training equips healthcare professionals with knowledge, skills, and ethical values necessary for high-quality patient care through a lifelong process of formal education and development. This is why the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare is signing a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Ave Maria University, Pianco, to train healthcare professionals to be able to compete favorably in the global market. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare urged medical practitioners to contribute to national development after completing their training.
One of the elements that we have seen is that is sometimes lacking is being patriotic to our country. The government spent, for example, a lot of money to train health workers in public universities. Most of the time, when we finish training them, before you know it, they leave the country. That is an investment of Nigeria that have taken somewhere else.
But if a doctor makes a mistake, it ends in the grave of the patient. So we are all very conscious of that. That was why we took time to ensure that all that was necessary to have the program to be approved by the NUC, and also to ensure that there's a place where these are students will do their clinical practice before they become doctors, were secured.
This partnership will expose Ave Maria University medical students to practical clinical experience at the Federal Medical Center, KEFI, a move geared towards improving their competence and strengthening Nigeria's medical education system to produce globally competitive healthcare professionals. In Abuja, Thomas Obetere, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from recognizing the outcome of the forthcoming 2025 National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, gave the order while delivering judgment in a suit challenging the legality of the convention. The court predicated its decision on the failure of PDP to comply with relevant conditions and laws for the conduct of such conventions. The court equally held that evidence from the electoral umpire and some of the respondents showed that congresses were not held in some states of the Federation in breach of the law. It also held that the signing of notices and correspondences of the PDP by its national chairman without the national secretary violated the law and consequently made such notices and correspondences a nullity. Justice Omotosho held that the PDP failed to issue the mandatory 21 days notice of meetings and congresses to enable INEC carry out its mandatory duty of monitoring such meetings and congresses. In the light of this, the court restrained INEC from receiving, publishing or recognizing the outcome of the convention slated for Ibadan until the law has been complied with. This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we return this day.
Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year is here. This festive season, enjoy extra savings on luxury and comfortable sofa sets, modern and functional dining sets, sophisticated and smart bed sets, and our royal collections, classy, premium, and truly exclusive. Shop 10 million Naira and receive a complimentary Daisy tea set. Spend 15 million and take home a 65-inch smart TV. Go higher at 20 million and experience unmatched comfort with our exclusive massage chair. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online. It's big, it's bold, it's unforgettable. It's Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to... Tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness, great quality and great taste. So eat healthy to live longer. Use Arisco tomato paste and products. 100% natural tomato. Better food now. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African road.
This is NTA News24.
Many thanks for staying on. Nigeria is demonstrating renewed commitment to expanding the implementation of the Local Content Act, not only to boost national production, but also to create more decent work opportunities for its citizens. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Maigari Dinyadi, stated this at the 2025 Annual Labour Conference of the Labour Correspondents Association of Nigeria, LACAN, held in Abuja. Joseph Otsen reports.
As the year winds down, labor correspondents and major actors in Nigeria's labor sector are meeting once again to review development, analyze policies, and seek solutions to critical national issues affecting workers and employers alike.
And we have this year's theme, improving internal resource mobilization for financing anti-poverty and inequality interventions in Nigeria. It is a recognition that waiting for external saviors is a strategy of the past, The solution to our problems and the resources to fund them must be generated from within.
The Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohamed Megeri Dingyadi, is a special guest. He says the federal government is deepening implementation of the Local Content Act beyond the oil and gas sector, extending it to manufacturing, ICT, and renewable energy to boost national production and create decent jobs for Nigerians.
It seeks to ensure that Nigerians are not passive spectators in the growth of industries operating with their borders, but are active participants and beneficiaries through employment, skill development, and value addition.
But the speakers at the conference call for stronger policies and enforcement mechanisms to curb casualization, a practice they say allows some employers to exploit Nigeria's large pool of job seekers without providing adequate protection or benefits.
Our struggle for social justice is the bedrock upon which truly functional democracy is built. We cannot have democracy that works only for the rich and powerful.
As Nigeria continues to advance policies aimed at economic transformation, organized labor is urging government to ensure that these initiatives promote fair labor practices, decent work, and inclusive growth for all categories of workers. In Abuja, Joseph Oten, NTA News.
The National Pension Commission says the various reforms by the Commission is part of the federal government's commitment to strengthen the system as well as to ensure welfare and well-being of retirees. The Commission made the submission in Yola during a sensitization workshop on the workings of the contributory pension scheme for pensioners in the Northeast. Correspondent Mary Adamu George reports.
Various reforms on pension are part of the National Pension Commission's initiatives to protect contributors as well as guarantee dignity in retirement. With key interventions that directly touch the lives of retirees, such reforms are also expected to open a new chapter for both serving and retiring workers to have a life-changing experience. This workshop, organized by the National Pension Commission in collaboration with the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, is to sensitize pension desk officers across Northeast region on the new opportunities for Nigerian workers and retirees.
PENCOM has organized this nationwide sensitization workshop to deepen trust and ensure that every federal employee and pensioner fully understood the CPS and can access its benefits without delay.
Other stakeholders at the event commended the federal government for considering the plight and future of retirees because of the challenges of life after retirement.
This administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken the issues of pensioners very, very serious.
With this engagement, the hope of a retiree of a brighter future is rekindled, especially on free healthcare services, among other opportunities. In Yola, Mary Adamu George, NTA News.
Young lawyers have been encouraged to see the practice of law not just as a means of earning a living, but as a powerful tool to make positive impact in their communities. This was the central message at the 2025 Young Lawyers Summit of the Nigerian Bar Association, Abuja branch. Delivering the keynote address, former Minister of Works and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Babatunde Raji Fashola, described lawyers as custodians and masters of the law. He charged the young professionals to begin early in defining the kind of lawyers they aspire to become, those driven by purpose, service, and integrity.
What does the practice of the law even mean to you? Is it just an avenue to earn a living? Or is it a pathway to positively impact your community and impact your society? I will choose the latter.
It forms part of ongoing efforts by the NBA to bridge the gap between law school training and real-life legal practice, exposing young lawyers to the diverse opportunities within the legal profession, from courtroom advocacy to policy, technology, corporate law, and beyond.
Do you want your school to be known for your achievements or activities?
Part of preparing you for the future, part of mentoring you, part of supporting you and helping you is a laudable program like this.
The whole essence of this is to give our colleagues the understanding, the exposure that there are other opportunities, other platforms apart from the court that they can explore.
A conference on maritime security, human rights, and the blue economy has held in Abuja. Convener of the conference, Ndidi Gladys Ezinwa Okoha, a legal practitioner with the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, also presented to the public 14 books and a journal she authored to help confront some maritime challenges, from insecurity to transnational crimes to the degradation of marine resources. It was not just for participants to collaborate in securing the maritime domain. It was an avenue to celebrate the intellectual accomplishment of this author who wrote these 14 books and a journal, a culmination of her years of research, commitment, and dedication to justice and societal reform.
Maritime security in all dimensions, it encompasses human rights, international trade, environmental sustainability, economic prosperity, and the rule of law.
These works are a testament to the author's personal commitment to addressing critical issues facing the nation.
I have looked at the books. You know, and they are definitely excellent contributions. I'd like to commend the passion, the perseverance, and the productivity of the author, which has brought great pride not only to the civil service, not only to the Ministry of Justice, but also to the entire country.
Mrs. Ezinwa Okoha's remarkable feat reminds us that excellence in the civil service transcends administrative duties. It is also about hard work, intellectual creativity, and innovation.
Deep down research on those ones, and having gone through trainings and all that, I feel it's important for me to share the knowledge I have gotten from those my courses, my advancements, legal studies and all that with my colleagues and within my jurisdiction of field of endeavor as a federal prosecutor.
It is hoped that these books, namely Shadows of Freedom, Reviving Love, The Future We Build, Evidence in Maritime Crime Cases in Nigeria, Nigerian Youth and the Future of Democracy, among others, will serve as valuable resources for legal framework and governance reforms. In Abuja, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for watching. I am Chinenye Nwoye.
Implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow under digital economy for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that our questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today.
African Union initiates conversation around building African shipping lines and aircraft. Naira records highest appreciation against the dollar this week at 1,436 Naira 97 kobo to a dollar on Thursday. Plus, World Bank says commodity prices to hit a 6-year low in 2026 as oil glut expands. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I'm Musa Abubakar, your guide. We begin with cheery news that global commodity prices are projected to fall to their lowest level in 6 years in 2026, marking the 4th consecutive year of decline. The World Bank Group's latest commodity markets outlook forecasts prices to drop by 7% in both 2025 and 2026, driven by weak global economic growth, a growing oil surplus, and persistent policy uncertainty. The World Bank outlook shows that falling energy prices are helping to ease global inflation, while lower rice and wheat prices have helped make food more affordable in some developing countries. It added that despite the recent declines, however, commodity prices remain above pre-pandemic levels, with prices in 2025 and 2026 projected to be 23% and 14% higher than in 2019. Meanwhile, oil prices eased this Friday in a 3rd consecutive monthly decline as a stronger U.S. dollar and weak China data capped gains, while rising supply from major producers globally offsets the impact of Western sanctions on Russian exports. Brent crude futures slipped 12 cents or 0.18% to $64.88 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $60.36 a barrel, down 21 cents or 0.35%. The greenback was boosted after U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said on Wednesday that an interest rate cut in December was not guaranteed. Both Brent and WTI are set to fall about 3% in October, as rising supply is set to exceed demand growth this year, with the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and major non-OPEC producers ramping up output to gain market share. Still on commodities, gold prices retreated towards $4,000 an ounce this Friday, and uncertainty over another U.S. rate cut in December. A look at prices of commodities on the global market is next. The African Union has launched a $30 billion initiative to overhaul the continent's aviation infrastructure, with a focus on advancing the single African air transport market. This was announced at the 3rd Financing Summit for Africa's Infrastructure Development in Luanda, the capital of Angola, and has been said to have the potential to boost maritime, aviation and road networks for Africa.
The true issue of financing is not money, it is trust. Trust in our institutions, in our capabilities, and in our shared destiny. May this Luanda summit mark a new momentum, that of an Africa investing in itself, believing in itself, and speaking with one voice to build the continent we wish to bequeath to future generations.
China has bought at least 4 U.S. soybean cargoes after a summit between President Donald Trump and his counterpart Xi Jinping, as Beijing moves to boost purchases of American farm goods following a trade truce. Reports say the cargoes are for shipment later this year and in early 2026, and the total volume is about 250,000 tons, which will be shipped from the Pacific Northwest and U.S. Gulf. They added, President Trump said China will purchase a tremendous amount of American soybeans after a meeting with Xi on Thursday to hammer out a wide-ranging trade deal. Futures in Chicago have rallied this week to the highest level in almost 16 months in anticipation of a trade breakthrough. Women businesses in Africa are about to receive a boost in finance and capacity building. This is as the Africa CEO Club with the theme, Africa, Her Voice, Her Power, gather to strengthen partnerships, share opportunities, and shape the future of African enterprise.
Our goal is clear: to connect visionary CEOs, investors, policymakers, and innovators from across Africa and the diaspora, and to empower women who lead with purpose, courage, and authenticity.
It's not just about building women through enterprise and finance architecture. More importantly, it is about building the power through this moment.
The task before us is simple and strategic. We must make finance work for those who invest back into our communities, our women entrepreneurs.
We are sitting on gold as a continent. We are sitting on wealth as a continent. But we have still not been able to address our problems.
So that's why it is absolutely very important that we look at the education of women in cybersecurity, in the technology, because they have their own touch that they bring to the solution.
Now, in today's competitive world, who you are and how you present your business can be just as important as what you do. Building a strong personal and business brand not only enhances visibility, but also establishes credibility, trust, and influence, essential ingredients for growth in any field. Our guest is Adironke Koshimani, an international business and network marketing leader and personal branding expert, who joined me in a previous discussion where she talked about how entrepreneurs and professionals can effectively position themselves and their businesses for influence and opportunity through intentional personal branding. Take a listen. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, to begin the conversation, what exactly is business branding, and does it differ from personal branding?
Yes, business brand is the unique selling point your business has that differentiates it from its competitors. What is that unique thing that you're doing? It can be your logo, your tagline. Why will people buy your product instead of other people? That's your own business brand. And then a personal brand is more of that unique personal identity that people know you for. It can be the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you give responses. And most times what people don't know is that your brand speaks before you even say a word. So it can be a bit different. Some people are one with their brand. So some business owners are one, their personal brands and their business brands are one and the same. And they're also very successful. But there's some people who create lives separate from their brand. So it can be a separate thing, can be also be unique or the same.
Now, why is branding becoming increasingly important in today's digital and business environment?
In this era, personal and business branding has never been more important because people research you before you even say a word. If somebody wants to give you a business, give you a job or contract or anything, they've gone to do their research. They've checked social media. They've checked AI. I had an experience where I was telling somebody about my business in network marketing, and as I was speaking to her, she said, okay, she went to do her research, and AI actually gave her my video. So if I wasn't already doing my business and personal branding, that wouldn't have happened. So it's extremely important for businesses to do a lot of branding so they can attract customers, clients, and repeating purchases.
Now, you know, our environment is actually, when you talk about the private sector, is actually dominated by small and medium-scale enterprises. How can small business owners and entrepreneurs start building a brand that reflects their values and strengths?
The very first thing is, as a business owner, small business owner, identify 3 to 5 things you want your brand to be known for. Don't make it 10 or 15, just 3 to 5 things. When people think of my brand, my product, my person, what do they remember? Identify it, write it down. Secondly, look at people who are doing the same thing you're doing, those who are successful in your industry. How are they branding themselves? What are the things that they're doing? Don't copy them totally, but you can learn from them, glean from them. Thirdly, what is your own unique selling points? How do I leverage what people already know me for? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And then you begin to talk about that. Speak about your product as often as possible. As business people, part of your personal brand is at every given point in time somebody sees you, you must have your product on you or your service. You must be ready to talk about it. That's part of that business and personal branding.
Okay, now, you know, you talked about you don't have to copy people totally, you just have to come up with your own. Well, copying is actually a problem because, you know, how do you get to own your own brand? How do you get to own your own brand?
One of the ways, like I said, is you have to identify, what do I want people to know my brand for? What do I want people to know me for? Yes, other people are doing all this in the industry, but when they hear my name comes up, what do I want it to be known for? The problem with copying somebody totally is that when you start copying somebody, people already know that brand, and then it's obvious, oh, you're not authentic. And in this generation, people love authenticity. So once you say, okay, I want to be like this, people are doing this, you can even make it better, then you begin to do well in the marketplace.
Now, how can a well-developed personal or business brand create opportunities for partnerships and growth?
Okay. It's in so many ways. I'm going to just give 3 major ways.
Okay.
First of all, you have to make sure when you are Googled, or in this era of AI, when you are ChatGPT, when somebody wants to learn about your product, your business, and they go and check you out on Google or on ChatGPT or Meta AI, you have to make sure that your brand is among the top 3. And how do you do that? By constantly posting about your brand. Using social media, using the regular normal media. We have TV, we have radios, and we have social media and all that. All the platforms. Some brands make the mistake where they just stick to one platform, but that's wrong. TikTok, for example, appeals to the younger generation and all that, but they have their own. They can pay for some products. And then we have Instagram, we have Facebook for the older generation. So that is one way brands can make sure that they are out there and they get market share as a business owner.
Okay, what about small-scale businesses that don't have access to internet?
Okay. Well, for the small-scale businesses, what they have to do is they have to deal with branding on the local level. How do they look? When people come to your shop, they come to your store, is it clean? If there are 10 people selling fish or selling vegetables in this area, what will make somebody come to your store? It can be personal branding. Do you package your things properly? Are you neater? Are you cleaner? What's your price point? So things like that. After a while, people know, okay, if I buy from this person, okay, they are different. That is also your business brand. But I will advise, no matter how small scale your business is, go on the internet. Social media will give you customers that you can never reach physically. We're in the era where you can package your product and you can deliver it and send it. So I will advise, no matter how small scale your business is, take it to the internet and you'll get more clients and customers.
And what role does authenticity play in branding and influence?
Oh, it plays a massive role because, you know, most people are tired of the mundane. You know, everybody doing a particular business acts in a certain way. You know, they do this a certain way. People are tired of that. So once you come out and you're authentic, you're different. I'm going to say something a bit controversial, but brands that do very well, they have what we call a cult-like following. Your brand, if your brand is extremely strong, people will buy from you whether your product is good or bad. And I don't know if that's a good thing to say, but because they just believe you, they love your brand, they love your person, they love what you're all about, they will follow you. Sometimes your product may be priced higher. Like, for example, there's a product we sell in our company, it's priced higher than other products, but because we've created a brand around it, people come and buy it, even if it's higher. Why? Because there's that brand and there's that value. So it's extremely important to be authentic in your own space.
Now tell us about some common mistakes people make when trying to position themselves or their businesses for influence.
Okay. One of the mistakes I see people make is they're too controversial. They're too controversial. You see something interesting on social media, somebody uses their personal brand page and they are arguing on the comment section. And I'm like, this is business, this is business suicide. So that's one mistake people make. Another mistake is not being authentic enough.